Hey, what's up? Kalen here, doing this video from the Wynn Hotel for Magento Imagine. And I had some interesting conversations yesterday, and one of them I wanted to touch on to brain dump some thoughts, which was that I talked to some agency owners about how they maybe feel. So when I post jobs, I post them on LinkedIn or Twitter, or when I post candidates, I'll say what the salary is that the job is paying, or the salary that the candidate expects, and I just put it right out there. And then the link to the job is anonymized, and to the candidate is anonymized. So that way, because a lot of times companies don't want to put that information out there publicly. So it's kind of a nice happy medium where we can put that information out there anonymously. But so a couple people have said that it's kind of giving them a little bit of heartburn because, let's say that the salary I'm posting is in a particular part of the world is higher than what they are paying. And these are friends of mine, and like, it's a challenge because, they, from their perspective, they've built up a team, they've hired people, trained them over months or years, and then it's like, oh, hey, here's this job that pays more. And I really hadn't thought that through when doing this. I just approached it very kind of simplistically of like, I think things should be transparent. My whole purpose is to create liquidity in the hiring market. So you can't have liquidity in a market without having price transparency, right? Like imagine if you wanted liquidity in a stock market and nobody put prices out there. Like you had to call a guy and ask him what the price was in order to know the price. So I'm just kind of struggling with that tension a little bit. And for one, like a lot of times people really aren't motivated by, oh, I can get more money, I'm gonna jump. That's, that does happen obviously, but that's more of the outlier, and even if they do that, if somebody doesn't stick around somewhere for like 2 years, that just doesn't really reflect well. Not to say that that's always a bad thing for them, but it doesn't reflect well. So it's not like somebody's gonna keep going for higher pay every couple of months. They wouldn't, even my clients wouldn't want to hire them in that case. So sorry for all the motion in this video. I don't have my whole tripod set up here. So yeah, just something that I really hadn't thought through. I'm kind of struggling through because, again, these are friends of mine that are feeling negatively impacted by this. But so a lot of times it doesn't, and a lot of the companies that really are creating a solid environment and culture in their company, people aren't as sensitive to price. They really aren't. So that's one thing. And then the other thought is just this whole thing around liquidity in the market. Like, I was talking to one person who's basically saying like, it hurts me when you put those prices out there if those prices are higher than my prices, right? And I was thinking to myself, well, but let's look at your business, for example, and you have prices for what you sell. This is a bad example for agencies because a lot of time agencies' prices aren't public. But for a product company, I was talking to someone from a product company too, you have prices for your products, and in some cases those prices are lower than other companies' prices. So when you put your prices out there publicly and they're more attractive, right? If I post a job that's more attractive price-wise than another one, it could hurt them. So if your company has prices that are more attractive than this company's, that could hurt them. But it's just, well, you're just trying, you're trying to provide a more attractive offering. Like, imagine if I told you, you shouldn't put your prices public. Make your prices, don't put your prices on your website. Don't say that your thing costs, $100 a month. Hide the prices because you're going to hurt people. Instead, make people call you and ask for the prices. But really all you're doing there is creating friction and reducing liquidity. You're increasing the friction in the buying process. Where at the end of the day, the reason Amazon's winning is because they care about the end customer, right? So at the end of the day, we all have to be reducing friction in our end customers. So like, to ask you to not show your prices, just it doesn't make any sense on its face. But in the recruiting space, it's different because there's just different expectations, I guess. But that's kind of how I think about it. Anyways, those are some thoughts. Still, if you have any thoughts, I really would love to hear from you because I'm trying to think this through. Really not trying to impact anyone negatively. And again, it's not, because a lot of the people that have expressed concern, I know for a fact that their people are not looking. So, anyways, so yeah, so that's it. Love any feedback. And Magento Imagine is great. If you aren't here, you got to come here next year. It's friggin' amazing. And that's it. Thanks so much.